Going up right now. We live.
We live. Let's do it.
Uh,
Yes, I'm still celebrating with my wife. My anniversary. So happy anniversary to us. Our second day of our second anniversary. And I'm just ready to tell my story, bro. So it's on you. Let's go.
Let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen, you tuned in with CEO Money Train. This is Poetic Roots Podcast, one of the hottest platforms to be on to discuss the music, to advertise your business, to talk about real life experience. Listen, man, we appreciate everybody for really tapping in. Hey, listen, this is about to be real serious when it comes to the conversation, the experience behind being locked up for 27 years in prison and the experience and what goes on behind the prison. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to Kelvin Sanders. What's popping, my boy?
What's up? What's up, brother? I'm doing good, man. By the grace of God, and you, as well as you, how you doing? And yeah, it's gonna get a little emotional because I'm finna revisit some stuff. I'm finna revisit the past, man. I'm finna tell y'all the raw, and then I'm also have a message inside, man, about people glorifying these prisons with these cell phones and all that. And I had a message for the youth too, and and so like. I like to tell the youth, first and foremost of all, I mean to cut y'all big, bro. I like to tell all youth out there that it's okay not to be cool. It don't make you less than who you are if you don't pack a gun, you don't join a gang, so on and so forth. It don't make you less cool, what I'm saying, if you ain't running with a pack of guys and you disrespect your mom. And what makes you cool is when you distinguish yourself from everyone and live in your own truth and be your own self and follow your own lead. You don't need to be no follower in this way of life and as far as this generation, because once we were born, we came in the world with three strikes against it. You know what I'm saying? You were young, you're black, and then we were already in a system from the time you was born. You was in a system. So, we had to break that so-called, what they say, generational curse. There's no thing as a generational curse. You know what I'm saying? Because if you start teaching your kids, what you do not reflect on you as an individual. It reflect on your family as a whole. Because once you go and for that judge, mama can't come get you, daddy can't come get you, the nation can't come get you, organization not gonna be there for you. You're gonna have to man up and walk that treacherous walk by yourself. And me telling you from experience, man, I went to the 6th grade, caught a capital murder charge. I turned 14 years old in the Mississippi State Penitentiary, better known as the Parchment Farm, the same prison that they did the movie Life in. I worked at that camp. I cleaned up around that camp. But as they're going in there as a child and been forced to become a man at an early age, and it was scary. So y'all just be prepared, man, for the good, the bad, the ugly, because I'm finna elaborate on when you first get incarcerated, you go in there, they strip you of your dignity and your manhood off the muscle. Not meaning no inmates, I'm meaning the officers. They will strip you of all that. If you show any type of authority or leadership, they'll really make it hard on you, because, if you get one to start listening and paying attention, he'll start dreaming. Once he start dreaming, he'll start achieving. Once he start achieving, then you can bring the masses on. But it's a select few who have the knowledge, the ability, and the wisdom to actually leave a prison and hold firm to his word, to your fellow inmate, to the one that raised you from a teenager into an adult. It's kind of hard walking out of there, leaving them behind, knowing the condition that, we were living in. As far as you wake up, you got birds in your window, you got scabies in your head from fleas and stuff off the bird. You go use the restroom. In 93, they had a flood in Parchment. You go sit down on the toilet, snakes coming up out the toilet.
Damn.
Snakes coming out the toilet. You got maggots in the shower. It's no privacy, to the point when you drink water, sometimes you see the inmate like, no, I don't eat the prison food. You're doing right, because when they bring the food to the unit, they bring it on a food truck and they take it out back of the truck and leave it exposed to the element. When you're looking at the window and you seeing crows the size of chicken, flying down on the trays and picking chicken up off the trays and defecating on the tray, and they still bring it in to you. Either you eat it or you know what I'm saying, malnutrition. So you were forced to eat a lot of food that had worms in it. You know, you go in the dining hall, you go behind the stove, you got dead rodents in there, you got maggots in the food, they feeding you leftover processed food that's it to the point, man. And then, you know, you got to be real mindful of your movement around there because, you know, you're young, you come in and set a prime example. 29A building. Young dude coming there, young white dude, you know, and he liked to go around and just be offering people stuff. He just was just curious, but he was nosy at the same time. And people said there he liked to look at the Playboys and the Penthouse magazines, so on and so forth. So you had an old convict by the name of Dubo, which during that time he was locked up 42 years. Keep in mind, this was back in the early 90s. He was locked up 42 years then. No bad. So he probably died in prison by now. But he tricked the guy in the room and stuff, gave him the books and let him read it. And everybody went to the dining hall. He stabbed the little dude in both his arms so he couldn't defend himself and raped him. He took him. So that was like in the early 90s. But when the organizations formed in prison, they rectified all of that rape. So don't get it wrong that people in prison just raping people. If you was in prison and you see two men together and one of them is openly gay and one of them is masculine, 9 times out of 10, the masculine individual step to the gay individual, because a gay person in prison, they would not approach a man in prison not knowing what you're in for. I like you. That's the quickest way to get killed. You know what I'm saying? So if you ever see that in prison, it's the masculine, the big chest, that walked to the one that was a weaker offender, and he approached him. You know what I'm saying? So it don't. People have the pre-notion about the prison. That, oh, everybody in prison, they do that much time and this and that. There, no, man. Once you enter inside them walls, man, the last thing on your mind when you serving a 70-year sentence, or by the time you turn 19, you got 125 years. The last thing on your mind, it having a sexual climax. You ain't got your butt on no sex, man. You trying to figure out. It's like, okay, am I ever gonna get out this place? Is I'm gonna die here? Because, bruh, it was to the point that I'm young, I'm green to the prison, but I was so caught up in the streets when I went in there. I'm on a capital murder. I'm one of the most vicious type of murder charges that you can get, which is carry to death sentence. And I remember the day being sentenced. We, the jury, hereby find the defendant, Kelvin Sanders, guilty of capital murder, but were unable to sentence him to death. That's opened my eyes. That was an eye opener. That was an eye opener. And so,
go ahead. Go ahead.
And so when that happened, you know what I'm saying, it was so caught up in the system thinking that, okay, I'm invincible, that it wasn't, you know what I'm saying, it wasn't registering on me, because every chance I got, I felt that I was invincible. And then a lot of my mistakes and everything come from parenting, because my mother, my grandmother, I was raised by 3 grandmamas and a mama. So, you know, my great-great-grandmama told me, she said, baby, let me tell you something. She said, aggravated assault and manslaughter carry the same amount of time. And she said, you get 20 years for shooting him, and you get 20 years for killing him. Don't play with nobody. And she gave me my first gun, and I caught my first charge. And then when I bonded out, not only, you know what I'm saying, chastising me, they put goals in my mouth. I was being rewarded for being bad. So I'm taking on the notion of responsibility now that I got to be the man of the house to take care of all of my mother, her mama, her mama's mama, and her mama's mama. And then they let me do what I want to do. And they got so far gone that to the point, man, I'm talking about my whole teenage life, man. I'm talking about, my wife can verify, I never went to a movie theater till 2019. I never been inside of a movie theater, bro. I never been to a prom. I never been to a graduation until the latter part of my life, after 2019. But keep in mind, I went to prison in 1992.
1992.
In the early 90s.
Damn. So check me out, man. Like, first time going into the prison, you know, for the crime that you committed. Now, ex- tell us a little bit about, man, just certain things that you was, you didn't expect to see, even though you probably heard something about prison, but you to experience prison and, doing your time in there. Go ahead and elaborate a little bit about, man, certain things that
Some of
you've seen and
some of the
heard
most
about.
shocking, yes, some of the most shocking things that I heard about prison that I never expected to see is that, okay, everybody know that prison, you know what I'm saying, fitness, being fit, you know what I'm saying, being the muscle bound, being muscular, it's a thing in prison, so it's often intimidating. But as a young age, when you see a man go out here on the yard and they lifting anywhere from 500 to 600 pounds of weight, standing 6'4", 300 pounds. I'm talking about a guy like a 56-inch chest mass. You go in the shower, you come out, go in your corner cell and pull the curtain back. Another man walk in there named Shouty Well. He rubbing you down with baby oil, a muscle man. So they have a saying in prison, he can lift everything in the penitentiary, walking around ass shaking like jello.
Oh, man.
And another thing what you will see is that they enable the homosexuals that had a whole clique, a whole zone to themselves, and you will never see that a man will go to the warden, captain, the superintendent, whatever, and tell them, I'm a weak offender, I can't be around these guys. But you'll go into a unit where open homosexuals live in like a lifestyle, and the officers, they come in, they get these guys, they give them wig bangs, they give them wig piece, they give them lipstick. And then this is the crazy part about it. Before they start getting the accessories from the police and everything, man, these people used to wear thermal skirts. They take a thermal shirt, cut it off, make a skirt, and then they would wear Kool-Aid lipstick. They would buy Kool-Aid off the commissary and put just a little bit of it in the top and make it real red and put it on their lips and turn it red. They make eyelashes and everything out of it, and they were actually dressed. But the wildest thing I seen in prison, and it scared the hell out of me. Man, we was out there on the farm. We was cleaning out around the chicken coop, which they had to. Also, Hopper tell me, Sanders, go around there and get some bucket of corn and bring it back around here, convict. Yes, sir. So I go around the corner. I see a man standing on a bucket up behind a horse having sex with a horse, to the point that they had to spray dye around the horses and around the pig's backside in case if you were to have sexual contact with an animal, the guy would be on you. And they had to do this with the pigs and everything. So they stopped serving pigs and stopped raising pigs and everything in the prison because they were having sex with the pigs and stuff. And I actually seen this with my own eyes.
Did y'all hear this? Hey, listen, audience, drop y'all comments down below. This is uncut stories and experience behind the jail walls in prison. Man, you tuned in with Kelvin Sanders, man, somebody who's been there, who really giving y'all the information of what's really going on behind the closed doors, man. Make sure y'all drop y'all comments down below, ask some questions, make sure y'all share this live. For those who want to be in the street, hey, I'm thinking, hey, don't do no crime and get caught in the street.
No.
We don't care how big and bad you is. It ain't no guns up in there. They go stake your ass.
No guns.
So let's talk about those who go into prison thinking they big, bad, and tough, man. Like, what's that experience, and what have you seen or heard behind
say in other words, out here in the streets, you can have a straight dude out in the streets. He's a straight driller. I'm talking about everything about he's a pistol driller, pistol Pete. You go inside that penitentiary, bro, you ain't got no gun. You have to fabricate your weapons. In other words, it's survival of the fittest. In Wilkinson County, 1998, we had got moved from a prison due to a banging. And also within this banging, you have various of people. Listen, keep in mind, you got different personalities, different type of charges, and so on and so forth. One thing I do know, a killer do not want to meet a killer because somebody gonna die. When you didn't kill, you realize that you can die too. You're gonna start governing and protecting your life. But you going in this prison with this, oh, I'm 6'1", 283 pounds. I know that out in these streets I'm real respected in spirit. You might walk in the prison and find somebody 4'7" that killed his whole family. And then not the only part about it. I was incarcerated with the man that Belladette with that killed Jackson. I was locked up with Edgar Ray Kelly, who ordered the hit on the 3 civil rights workers. I operate with Samuel Bow, who was the head of the Ku Klux Klan. I'm talking about Kersley Nick McCoy, who was over the Diffie Mafia. I'm rotating with all these people that had so much power and respect, but in that prison, without your backup and without the goons behind you, it wasn't no respect because you wasn't that person. You really wasn't about that life. You just had the influence and the money to get what you want done, and then you just reap the benefit for what is being done. But all the time, as far as getting your hand dirty, you wasn't about that life. But when you get in prison, sometimes, like the Prairie High School shooter, Big Luke Whitaker, he came now. Y'all know that he killed. He the first one did a high school shooting. He go to prison, goddamn, with a life sentence without. He in prison. He's a straight homosexual. First thing you go pick the vibe up, you in fake bait, but you sit here braiding hair, you washing clothes and stuff, you got a laundromat called drawers and all. That means you wash everything. A man is not supposed to be washing another man underwear in no prison, but that's a form of hustle. And that's what he was doing. But out here in the streets, you known for being this high school shooter. You went in here, you killed your mama, your grandmama went to school, you shot and killed your girlfriend and everything. But then you get in this prison, you can't even defend your own manhood. You can't even defend your own rectum, bro. I'm talking about somebody go in the room, slap you, and make you bend over a rack, and then they just putting grease up between your butt cheeks and running up in you. That's for them tough niggas. They say, okay, you think you tough. It's somebody in there tougher than you. He don't have to be bigger than you or whatever, but his crime and his mentality to the point that, man, I was incarcerated with, man, bro, some people, and then I did time on the death row unit with them guys, and it was so scary to the point because when they got time to execute people, they turn their cups upside down, and I'm wondering, why is everybody cups upside down? Why everybody quiet and everything? Come to find out, it was an execution that day. I'm laughing and joking about it, but not knowing the severity of it. I come out myself to go take a shower, got scalded with hot water. They boiled water in a stinger and scalded me in my face. I was young and ignorant, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not knowing that I'm around people who is condemned to die. So they give no regards about no one life. And I'm back here playing and laughing because I'm in a lockdown unit for corrupt behavior in the prison, but I'm not knowing the severity of this tier that I was on. And I'm thinking that I'm bad because I'm an organization member and this and that there. Man, it took a little old white man named Carly Kaya. That man humbled me, bro. The man scalded me with magic shade, grease, clipper oil, and everything that boiled in a stinger for damn near 3 hours.
Yeah.
The man peeled all the skin off top of my head to the point, bro, I had to get tattoos to cover my whole head because with nothing grow. The man literally, he scarred me mentally. To this day, I'm mindful of my words, and then I never underestimate no opponent to this day because this man was 116 pounds, probably about 5'3", but that man whole weight, man, I'm talking about whole weight like Samson in that penitentiary, and I'm back here playing, laughing because someone got executed, and my life almost got taken that day.
Damn. Hey, y'all, listen, we about to drop a quick commercial, and when we get back, we about to go ahead and talk about the food, because I done heard the food up in there. You know, they feed the, yeah, we're going to talk about it in a minute. Yeah, we're going to talk about it.
Ooh, they probably won't eat another piece of chicken or bologna after that. There, boy, talk about that food, they stomach finna turn. Oh, my God.
y'all get ready for me. You know y'all tuned in with CEO Money Train for Where the Goose Podcast. Special guests in the building, straight out of Mississippi. We got Kelvin Sanders, man. This is a testimony. This is something that everybody needs to be listening into, taking notes and asking questions. Drop some comments down below. Share the live because you know what? The whole world needs to hear this testimony about being locked up behind the bars. When the lights off, what do you hear? What do you see? Y'all stay tuned in. I'm about to drop this money.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what time it is. I am CEO Money Train.
How you doing? This is Kelvin. And now we ready. I'm about to go live. CEO Money Train, Poetic Root Podcast, coming to y'all real soon. I think this is a story of encouragement. How one was counted out and bounced back. Come from the state of Mississippi. Come from a street goon to a prince. Y'all stay tuned.
I am CEO Money Train. Make sure y'all tap in. Poetic Roots Podcast. But you know that? Money Train. Welcome to Poetic Roots Podcast. Welcome to Poetic Roots Podcast. Welcome to Poetic Roots Podcast. Hey, welcome to Poetic Roots Podcast. Yeah. CEO Money Train. Let's go.
We got the special guest once again, Kelvin Sanders in the building. We're about to go ahead and talk about this damn food, man. That the way that shit was looking on that damn. All right, so in this video, in this picture, I see carrots, basically some veggies, a piece of bologna, and what is that, like a biscuit or something?
Yeah, man, that what you call, man, one of them Jerusalem biscuits, man. We had a name for a Jerusalem biscuit because, man, it was harder. That biscuit came from the time when Jesus took 5 fishes of bread and fed everybody. We called it a Jerusalem biscuit because, boy, you had to be blessed to even swallow it, man. You know, that tray right there, that is a typical lunch tray, which what you get. You know what I'm saying? Either, like we have a saying in there, man, when they come in, oh, Lord, eat it or die. You know what I'm saying? Eat it or die. And as you can look at that tray full of water. That actually was my tray. It was full of water. But to the point, man, that you would get that bologna so thin, bro, this no lie. You could actually hold it up and see through it. And that's all you're going to get. If you don't have loved ones out there, yes, you don't have loved ones out there in the world to send you money for commissary, that's what you're going to have to rely on. Food like that. And it get worse than that. Sometimes the only reason why the 2 slices of vegetables because the other portion of the food was either stolen or sold by the kitchen workers. You know what I'm saying? And so when it come down to your unit being fed, let's say for instance, if Unit 29C building, we riff-raff, you know, it's majority of vice lords over there, so on and so forth, and you have a gangster disciples working in the kitchen and it's been something going on. This here is a way of a security tactic in prison because you don't feed the opposition to get them stronger. You feed them to get a weak. So that tray there was a result after a banging, and then when they had the control over the kitchen, so on and so forth, that's how we was being fed. And to the point that you probably lost 25, 30 pounds because the trays wasn't washed. They just a recycle, take back to the kitchen, they put back on there and send back to you. You know what I'm saying? And in prison, they said that was a 2,500 calorie meal right there. That meal, according to the books of calorie, that's supposed to be a healthy meal. But man, one alone can't live off no one piece of bologna. The only thing don't actually get you full is the bread. If you take it, soak it in water, melt it back down, and knead the dough and make something and put back in it. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't, man, you bite that biscuit, bro, that shit gonna tear your wisdom teeth out your mouth, man. You ain't gonna be able to swallow that. I promise God, you ain't gonna be able to swallow it. That's one of the most, man. Every prison picture you see from a prison or whatever, Not the authentic picture, which is mine, but everyone they show a picture of a meal, that's what it's looking like, and then they finally got it right, and then they went back into the slumps, you know what I'm saying, because they accepted, okay, we give you visitation, we give you all this, we give you that there, but they accept the change in condition. So once you accept it, they continue to fund it, because if you look at it, they save a lot of money. And then another thing behind that trade, the commissioner of the Mississippi Department of Correction at the time was Christopher B. Epps. How about he got 28 years in the federal penitentiary because he found it right at $300-some million from the Mississippi State Penitentiary and from the food department and everything, and that's how we was being fed. Christopher B. Epps, you can Google him, you can look him up. He in prison right now. He was the longest serving commissioner, black man, was in the state of Mississippi, and he got locked up for money laundering. And the other dude that was with him was a billionaire. He killed himself and everything. He resigned and went to prison. They took everything. They gave him 28 years. He got the longest sentence by a prison official that's in history of Mississippi, but that was a result of his regime. That's how we was eating every day. Don't talk about that was 365. They were running that meal for a whole 3, 4, 5, 6 months straight. That's all you get.
Hold up. So what about, if that's lunch, I'd be damned to see what dinner look like. What's dinner like then?
You take that biscuit off of it and you put some broccoli or some or squash or some squash there. Let's go get out the field, cut up, put in some hot water, let it boil and get salt, and put salt on it. They'll put squash in the third slot. But there's only time that you might get a decent meal is during the holiday meal, which is like Christmas, New Year's and stuff like that. They give you real turkey, real ham. They give you cake and chocolate milk, but it'll be served with your canine because that is a delicacy and people will actually fight and kill you over that meal. So when you do get a decent meal during the holiday, they have to bring the K9, which is the prison police, to come in and serve the meal because the offenders will be so hyped because they actually getting real food. But that's the everyday meal that you would get. And just on the dinner tray, you just take that biscuit off and add another vegetable.
See, this is crazy because I know you sent me a picture. I'm over here looking for it right now. Hey, man, I'm going to tell everybody who's watching this video, stay y'all ass out of trouble, man. Stay out of prison.
Yes, it's not worth it.
Because look,
it's not worth it.
It ain't worth it. And a lot of people feel like they're getting away with something, man. And that shit always catches up to you.
Yeah, when it catches up to you, Karma, I can tell you, big bro, Karma is one of the most patient gangsters I ever seen. If you out here in these streets and you living that life, parents, if you got a child out here in the streets, parents, please listen to me. I'm telling you this from the heart. If you got a child out here in the streets, if you don't rectify it and stop it, it's only 2 calls you're going to get. We got him or we found him. That's how it worked. 2016, 29D building is a banging kicked off, which they stabbed the vice lord down and so on and so forth. Had officers in there, and the door was so easily popped. You could use your ID card, put it at the top of the steel bar door, and you put it at the bottom. And you had the other inmate that snatch it. Once you snatch it, it'll come off the hook. And they was in there, you know what I'm saying? They were, as you see, he had his coat on, which on the coat they make like vests. They'll take the coat and cut the inside. They'll stack it with magazines and stuff around their vital organs. They're stacked with magazines, and you see an inmate fighting with a towel around his neck. The towel is to protect your vital organs, so on and so forth. And then in a situation like that, they tell you, you don't fight the inmate that's stabbing you, you fight the knife. So if you can wrap your arm up and get one stab and grab him, you know what I'm saying, then you can control what he do with the knife. But if you inexperienced like they were, that was the outcome. That's how they left.
So we got 2 bodies one body on the bed, 1 body on the ground.
Yes.
Damn.
Yeah.
And I know you sent me a video, man, and this was another stabbing we were talking about.
Man.
See, we gonna get into that. What's the best way to stay out of confrontation while being in prison? Like
the best way Well, not cutting y'all. I know where you're going with this. That question was asked me by several people out here. The best way to stay out of confrontation in prison is to really mind your business. Do not accept nothing. Do not borrow nothing. And do not owe no one. Don't owe nobody nothing. And let your word be your bond. If I come to you and say, Money Train, let me get 3 bags of noodles that stole they, I give you 6 back. Okay, you give it to me because this your hustle. But then come store day, I don't have your stuff. And then in prison, it's open law. You can go back there and do whatever you do. This organization gonna stand down, I was gonna stand down or whatever. And another thing that I would like to tell anybody in prison, if you go into the prison system, I happen to go, if you're not in an organization, please don't join no organization, because the day you join the organization, that's the day all your problems begin. Because, prime example, if you join an organization, they say in their laws and creeds that, okay, for you, my brother, you know what I'm saying, our love begin at birth, manifest throughout the year because of just our skin is black. You know what I'm saying? We're dedicated to the cause. You know what I'm saying? I give my life, I give my life to you, Almighty. Meaning that if you just join the organization, I'm walking around being humbuggish, I get into somebody and he up the knife on me and stab me, and you don't help, your life is in danger. You cannot go nowhere in the prison. You got a KOS out on you. So wherever prison you land or wherever you go to the whole PC, protect the custody, wherever you go, when you come out, we always have people on the standby to follow you. And when the cell phones come into the system, you can be transferred. We just go in there, Mississippi Department of Correction, inmate search. He gonna tell us where you going and what unit you on, everything. All we gotta do, call down there to the prison. Hey, well, so give me a number to P-Pod. Oh yeah, what's up, bro? Man, he's mighty. Check this out. They got a dude come down here, man. He stabbed, bro. Okay, then he ran in a banger. So when he come on the zone, they gonna greet him with open palms. They gonna take him in the room, show him around, and get in the room. They gonna gun him down and send a picture back to him. Send a picture back to the organization, the prison he just left, the business handler. And as you handle business, your respect and your rank go up in the penitentiary. So your respect and rank go up in the penitentiary. Reason why I know this is because I was a muscle. I was one half mad assassin in there, and meaning that my knife game was so to the point, big bro, that in Marshall County, we got moved to that prison and due to banging, and we didn't have no weapons or nothing, and the people that are already there, they was already established. So we on the zone on lockdown, but then we did come out, we're still on code red. So with the code red, meaning that if they put an organization checks out code red, that means that everybody must be at the ready, because it's a potential bang will jump off at any second. We had nothing, so that day they have to serve turkey legs. And this is why I say that you have to be mindful and crafty. Don't you know that we take it all? I'm sitting there like, man, god damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, we in danger, you know what I'm saying? So get the turkey leg, take the turkey leg, bite a piece of it off of it to get the bone exposed. Once you get the bone exposed by like this here, we taking it and sharpening it down on the concrete and made a point. We take the bones and stick them in the vent to dry the bone marrow. So once we dry the bone marrow, the bone becomes semi-petrified. And now, not only that we had weapons that was able to go through metal detectors and be undetected. We was able to go through metal detectors and be undetected. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know what I want to say about prison, like jail and prison. I mean, you find some of the most smartest people who come up with the most craziest but brilliant ideas.
I was one of them, bro. Anything that you want to make, bro, right now, if I was in the house and had it, I could take 20 noodle bags, ramen noodle bags. I could take 20 ramen noodle bags and make a knife. I can take 20 ramen noodle bags and 2 bread ties. When I get through burning it and sticking that plastic, every time you burn that plastic and put it in the water, it get harder and harder and harder. And once it gets hard to the point, we sharpen it down on the concrete. And that knife, that was designed for if you get in a banging or you get into, so you want to get your person, you stab him, you break it. It's off in him. You off in him. So you'll leave it off in him. And so, and then you could take 2 magazines, a spoon, an ink pen barrel, about 40 rubber bands, and a nail, and make a zip gun. We were notorious for making a zip gun. You can ask one of your followers to Google that what the commissioner said about the vice lords in the Mississippi State Penitentiary. They said that we are some of the most ruthless dangerous people in the penitentiary. They say we are vicious dogs. That's what the commissioner said. They are vicious dogs. I'm for as extorting that Marshall County.
Hey, look. Now look. I'm looking at a picture of you in prison. What you got? Look. You made a necklace out of chicken bones. I see.
Yes, that was my trademark. I got a necklace out of chicken bone. I made my wife one in the house. I got a necklace of chicken bone encrusted in gold, and it got a gold cross on it. So that was one of my things. You know what I'm saying? A chicken bone. My thing behind that, living a savage life. They always say a plucked chicken to the naked ass. Them bones meaning that if we was into it, that's all that's gonna be left. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna pluck you to the point that it's so calculated that I didn't care where I get you at. I didn't care what it take to me to get you or whatever. And that picture right there, to be more in depth with it, I refused to I was going to have a change of heart. I refused to continue that violent lifestyle because I wanted to go home. And then I ain't see no future in me going home and everything. So I refused. And that's during the time now, and they can Google it, that we had found a little officer, man. He came in about 25, 26 years old. He throwing up. He want to be down. We convinced him to bring us a gun in prison. So we had a gun in prison, so we had the ups if anything go on. And my life was threatened. It was a KOS out on me. But now keep in mind, I was a mad assassin. You know what I'm saying? This is my thing. So this when shit go on, I get called to go handle the dirty work. Me and several more guys were put in that position. So they tell me that it was a KOS. We went out on the yard and dug it up. You know what I'm saying? And son of picture.
Wait, slow down. So those you said a KOS, right?
Yes, kill on sight. Kill on sight, because I refused a direct order of one of my ranking officials, which was to stab a boy down in the visitation room. And the thing about it was that's in the visitation room, bro, around people, family, kids, so on and so forth. If you'd have done that, it would have been to the point that, you know, it's so much about it. So I refused to do it. And they say it was a KOS album. We dug it up and sent a picture to the whole compound and told everybody, if you go to the dining hall, I'm gonna put it on the map. See, that was my way of letting them know that I was tired of it. So when they did that, they actually locked me down. When I woke up, I was in Cumberland, Minnesota, in a federal penitentiary. So they sent me to a federal penitentiary because I didn't tell who brought it or whatever. They just know that I had it. The little fella right there, he was smoking spice and died. That's y'all say no to these synthetic drugs because that's the outcome of smoking spice, what you call incense. The incense they smoked the K2, smoking K2 wigged out, you know what I'm saying? It busted hard. And when it came back, he was like that on the floor. He laid down on the floor, crossed his arm, he said a prayer, he closed his eyes, never got back up.
Damn.
That was Lil Rob. He never got back up. He never got back up. That was one of my little partners, man. He never got back up. I always used to talk to him about it, but he was so far gone on the drugs, man, and he was smoking them like this here, and they was actually spraying roach spray on the stuff and letting it dry out. And they say the most roach spray you put on it, the more they like it, and to the point it swelled his brain and stopped his heart. He laid down and he like, Lord help me. And he said a prayer. And when he closed his eyes, he stopped breathing. And that's how they was when he found him, brother. They picked him up. He was stiff as a board. He stayed down there about like 8 hours before the officer ever come on the zone to get it. Before they realized they found he was dead doing a certified count the next day. They just left him just like that.
See, it's so much that goes on mentally behind bars. You feel me? Like
yes. You
got any stories based on grown men every night crying or screaming? Like, how was the mental health in prison, bro?
The mental health was like this here. East Meridian. Matter of fact, man, they had us on 21-day movement. So I'm gonna be bouncing from prison to prison because every 21 days they move from different prisons. So I've been to every prison in the state of Mississippi. Mental health. East Meridian was a mental health facility. Okay, the guys, they got a thing about when women come in prison, they like to masturbate. So one dude, the woman didn't want to watch him masturbate. He took a razor, which once you shave, you supposed to give your razor back the razor intact. But he took the razor out of the razor and gave the razor body back, but kept the razor. The woman did not want to watch him masturbate, bro. The man cut himself from the top of his pubic hair and took his entrails and threw it over the rail. Threw it over the rail. The mental health is to the point that you had to be really to go around to people. They had to have classes to show you as to how to deal with people with psychiatric, problem. Because if you not psychiatric, you in a psychiatric facility and you around these people and you might have one that act out or just might start punching you. They want you mindful of this, how to deal and cope with it, how to de-escalate because you around it. But the mental health, as far as crying out, man, you hear people cry. Like when I cried in prison, bro, I cried in the shower. You couldn't see the tears. I cried in the shower because a tear in prison, some tears are tears of sorrow, but some tears, it be a tear that will make you a victim. The tears will make you a victim because everybody predatory. They see you crying every day. They'll think that you're a weak offender and they're going to start playing you accordingly. They're going to start cutting it to you about your manhood. They're going to start calling you out your name. They might say some shit like this. Hey, man, you heard what I said. Hey, nigga, you want me to call you by your government name or your whole name? Well, so what is my whole name? You know what I'm saying? They're actually, if you want me, if they see you like that, they'll start off light cutting. Hey man, you want me to call you? Say, come here, boy. Like that goddamn them pants tight on you. They'll start off like that there, and then if you don't straighten it right then or there, win or lose, it's predatory now. It's APAC predators. The APAC predators coming there from the early 70s and all into the 80s, like 85 now. They were rough. You know what I'm saying? They were still around that prison and they catch a young mother in there. They catch a person that was a weak offender, bro. Excuse my language. They gonna put the dick on. They gonna rape him. He gonna be wearing tight clothes. He gonna be a lady boy, and that's that. So it's not wise to shed the tears and for the mental health, bro. I think everybody that went to prison have somewhat like a mental health problem. Like it's not only behind the wall; it extends outside the walls too. Because you don't like crowd of people, you get nerves and afraid. We went to the parade one time. I think when the Dallas baseball team won, went to the parade. And I walked in there, I was okay. But when everybody came around, it was so many people that I had an anxiety attack and I had to just stop. And I went back into a prison mainframe. Everybody just moved. You know what I'm saying? I got violent. And then the woman like, you having a panic attack? Like, yes, ma'am. She said, come over here. So I didn't calm down until I got out of there. And then at night when you wake up in cold sweats, you know what I'm saying? And if you ever murder somebody, you ever gonna experience this, I hope that nobody ever murdered you ever did it, man. You wake up, the person sitting at the foot of your bed asking you, why do you do this here?
Is that, so that shit like that real, huh?
Yes, it is real, bro. It means the only way you're gonna get peace, bro, you're gonna have to really sit down and ask God for forgiveness. You're gonna have to beg for forgiveness, bro, because like I say, man, only God give it and he can take it. We not ordained to take a life, you know what I'm saying? And then once you take a life, that's what I said, when you didn't kill, you realize you could die too. But when you in here in a 8x10 cell, you get confronted with your demon as to what you did, and you seeing admirations of people that you did kill, bro. That it had the point to mess with you mentally to the point that you have to damn to get put in a suicide gown because you can't sleep. You can't sleep. You're scared to turn the light off. You scared to walk in the house by yourself because at your peripheral view, you seeing vision of shadows, and you know what's following you. You know what it is following you. You know what is following you, and I can tell about it because it's still to this day. Some of the crimes I committed, bruh, it bothered me to this day, but I got God. I found God, you know what I'm saying? And I know how to cope with it. And I tried to stay far away. I didn't do no 360. I did a 180. I turned from the streets and kept going. You know what I'm saying? The only way that you gonna do wrong is go right. The only way you can't do no wrong is go right and stay that way, because it's gonna catch up with you. It don't have to catch you earthly, bro, but spiritually, it's gonna whoop you. It's gonna whoop you, bro. It's gonna whoop you, man. And in prison, that's when you see a lot of people, souls being tormented through the crime they committed. Sex offenders, they stands no chance. They stands no chance. Everything you seen on the movies and heard about, say that shit true. They had to be in a unit. They go to the Christian part because you put them in a population, bro, they not gonna eat. Their family gonna get extorted. They gonna get raped. They ain't gonna have no food. They ain't gonna have no clothes. They ain't gonna have nothing. So every time you say something, you in here for a child molestation, you can't say nothing to me. I'm here on 3 counts. I'm on here on 3 different bodies. And you talking crazy to me and you touch the child, it don't work like that. Hoes on gonna kick off in his ass. That man, bitch, you gonna do what you told and go where you show. Simple as that. You don't have no say so in nothing. Well, we having chicken today, you ain't having nothing. Okay, go catch a rat. And that's how they treat them.
Yeah, for real. So look, thinking about a rat, how was the housing up in there? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we looking at right here in this picture right now?
Man, dead, smoking that spice. The housing, like, did you see the man up under? It's so to the norm. The old man up under him got the old man Millsap right there. Millsap, he been incarcerated like 41 years. And dude smoking that spice, he died, but for the housing unit, okay, you got 2 zones per building. You go in there, you either go A zone or B zone. And when you go in there, you know what I'm saying, you got racks, you got cubes. It's 4 bunk beds to a cube. So the total building of all might have 137 inmates. That's if they on the floor. But it's 4 to hold 128. But they 4 beds to a cube. You got the bathroom, and then you got the shower area. And then you got the corner rooms. You know what I'm saying? But it's an open base zone where there's no privacy whatsoever. You can't shower. You shower, everybody looking at your butt. You go use the restroom. That's Goon from Mohead, Mississippi. He used to be a gangster disciple. They kicked him out of the organization, and that's where he slept, in the corner behind the laundry bucket.
Damn.
So that's where he slept till he went home for about a year. He go in the corner behind the laundry bucket. So one day I went over there and snapped a picture. I told him, Goon, I'm gonna get you out this situation. And that's when I went to posting everything. And he did wind up getting moved to another prison. He did make parole, went home, he went to rehab and got off the spice. And I ain't heard from him since I've been out in Texas.
Man, so you went down, did your time. While in prison, you start changing your life around to help people out of situations. Because I remember, man, I seen something about Jay-Z and who was that? Jay-Z and
big head ass Joe Gotti. Yeah, Jay-Z big head ass Joe Gotti. Yeah, in 2022.
Jay-Z and Yo Gotti. Tell us a little bit about this situation right here.
Okay. If you look at all my documentation, if they Google my name, look at all my documentation. My documentation was put out in January of 2019. I came home January 29th of 2019. Okay, the day that I made it home, my first line of business was to get somewhere, sit down, and in my quiet space, and put everything out there. So I posted all the videos. I flooded the internet, and I emailed new companies, so on and so forth. Got the momentum going. So in 2022, yeah, Jay-Z and Yo Gotti, they get to hearing about everything going on down there. So they collaborated to say that they were gonna have some attorneys to come down there and sue the Mississippi State Prison due to the housing condition. But the thing about that was that they got all of my pictures and everything, and then they went to run a documentary, so they're gonna run it on A&E. They ran a documentary probably about 20 minutes, and then they went into a commercial, and I seen it, and I emailed the people that helped put everything out there in the archives, showing them that, okay, this is my stuff. And so, bam, it stopped right there. We was back and forth in contact or whatever. And then they just come back and studied, you know what I'm saying, just, paying, you know what I'm saying, for all of that. They just like, well, we just gonna drop the lawsuit, and they bagged out everything. They never ran the documentary exposing parchment, because every picture that they had was already copyrighted, and the credit was already given to the person who do it. See, they did it for the fame and all that. I did it because I was there. I did it because this is what I lived through. Jay-Z, you from New York, Gotti, you from Tennessee, which you ain't that far from Mississippi, but you didn't know the name of damn person that y'all had in your documentary. You didn't know them people. I was in there with them people. You go on my social media pages or whatever and go down through the pictures, you're gonna see every picture that they had and when they was posted. And so when they figured out that they wasn't messing with no illiterate person, because when I was locked up, I also know I was an avid reader, and I also got my social degree, and I also learned how to communicate. You feel me? So when I went to emailing these people, so on and so forth, and they seeing that okay, he's not illiterate. You know what I'm saying? He's not illiterate, and I'm not afraid to speak out. You know what I'm saying? I know that I don't have y'all type of money or whatever, but wealth ain't measured in finance, and wealth measured in knowledge. And I knew that I had enough sense to know that y'all didn't do this. All this isn't being fabricated off of my pictures and everything. So now I need to be compensated because I did that time. And so after that, they dropped the lawsuit and cut all communication. You know what I'm saying? Refused to pay. But like I say, I wasn't doing it for no recognition, no million likes or nothing like that. I was doing it because I actually lived in this shit 20-something years, day for day. I actually lived in this, bro. So this wasn't no I want some money behind it. No, this here was a bold move to show the world, like some people, yeah, it need to be locked up. Yes, I understand that you do a crime, do your time, so on and so forth. But if y'all knew what your taxpayer dollars paying for, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. I would never wish prison on my worst enemy. I'd rather die, you know what I'm saying, than to go back to that, bro. I'd rather die than to go back to that. I can't, it never left me, bro. Like, to go back to prison right now, bro, I think if I was, they tell me I go back to prison right now, bro, I think my heart gets a bust because I already know mentally, bro, I'm not capable of going back through that. I'm not capable of going back through that, bro, mentally.
I feel that shit, man. I feel that. Real talk, man. It's like life is worth living, man. I tell people that every day. It takes 20 seconds to make the wrong decision for you to spend your whole life behind bars of dead. That's why
I'm talking about one simple mistake, bro. One simple mistake can cause you a lifetime antagonizing agony, bro, to the point that you will actually want to take your life. People actually taking their life then to constantly live through that, man. I'm talking about live through it. That boy didn't want to die, bro. He didn't want to die. That man was tired. He was tired, bro, because you knew that if you smoking rose port, eventually it gonna bust an eternal organ. But before he died, he said a prayer. Let that sink in. He crossed his hand on his chest. He said a prayer. Then he closed his eyes. And then guess what? If you incarcerated and you ain't finished serving your time, your family can't get that body until your time up. So they're gonna have to resume your body to go help it. Yes, they're gonna bury you out there in the damn cemetery, bro. Your family, if you got a life sentence and your family don't come and pay them $20,000-$30,000 for your body, what they get a year for you, man, you're gonna get put out there in the ground in a wooden box. They're going to pack the dirt up in the pyramid so when it rains, it collapse on you. And they're going to put a little sticker in which you're going to have your number on there. Not your name. You're going to have your inmate identification number. Because once you go in there, they script you of your name, first of all. If my name Kelvin Sanders, I enter the system, my name is no longer it's convict or either 84746. That's all you hear. The only way you identify you is by numbers. That's it, by numbers. Rag 46. What? Okay, convict. What's your identification number? 84746. Okay, get in line. You the one we looking for. They'll never call you by your name. They'll never call you by your name.
Hey,
it's real.
If y'all really listening in, drop some comments down below. Ask them questions. When I say this is real serious, this is that real life, man. Everything is uncut. This is what testimonies are, the growth when it comes to somebody who did time, got out of prison, changed their life around, gotta, living their life. Listen, we about to drop another commercial, and then we gonna ask a few questions when it comes to the youth, and then we'll get up out of here.
Bet it up, brother.
Y'all know y'all tuned in with Kelvin Sanders, man. I am your Money Train Poetic Podcast. We bring a lot of messages to the world. Y'all just stay tuned in for support me. Drop some comments for those who really support me behind me. Share it live, man. Hey, y'all stay tuned in to your money train for real. Stay your ass out of jail too. I'm telling y'all, man. This
Stay,
story right here.
please stay out of jail, man. Jail ain't cool, man. They might glorify with them pictures, y'all. It ain't they y'all see all these videos, they doing all this stuff with these cell phones. But man, deep down inside, man, a motherfucker rather have their freedom, man. Ain't nothing like that freedom. You could be in jail with $1 million and you can have business and everything, but you behind them bars, that don't mean nothing. That means nothing.
Nah, for real. Y'all hear that, man. Hey, check me out. Another commercial. It's all about Kelvin Sanders. Drop your comments down below. Tell us what you think about this interview. This is uncut. You got bodies on the ground right now behind drugs, behind killings, behind stabbings. This is uncut. Y'all stay tuned in. Only on that Puerto Rico podcast.
Yeah, you know what time it is. You know what time it is. I am CEO Money Train.
How you doing? This Kelvin. And y'all get ready. I'm about to go live with CEO Money Train, Poetic Week podcast. Coming to y'all real soon. I think this is a story of encouragement, how one was counted out and bounced back. Come from the state of Mississippi, come from a street goon to a prince. Y'all stay tuned.
I am CEO Money Train. Make sure y'all
Everyone not loyal, but God is.
We're bringing a brand that cannot be ignored from city to city with the hottest styles, jackets, female bags. Hey, make sure y'all put y'all order in right now. Follow me, ENL Urban Wear on Facebook. Everyone not loyal, but God is. This is what we know. We're bringing volume. We're bringing a message that cannot be ignored. Stop what y'all doing. Follow the page. If you have not got your bags or your jackets yet, what you waiting for? Tap in. We bringing flavor. All different colors. All different sizes. Kid merch. Female merch. Man merch. It doesn't stop. Y'all make sure y'all tap in. Everyone not loyal, but God is. Shop now. See you.
I put my hero on rock. I put my Moscato on rock. One from one say.
Yeah, you know what time it is. I am CEO Money Train. And when we step to the building, you already know we poppin'. Yeah, let's go. Hey, when I step up in the club, you know that I be poppin' shit. I got my niggas with me, plus the bad bitches watching. PIP, that's where I be. Own drinks on me. I ain't tripping on the feet, cause you know I really got it. I'm the shit, nigga. Take your bitch, nigga. Fuck her good and send her home to deal with you. Say she in love with that deal, cause I'm a real nigga. All about my dollar bill, nigga. Still in Texas, where I'm flexing that. Hey, where my real nigga? Step up on the scene, so clean. Had to deal with it. What's the by the meal? Pay the bills, I got the skills with it. All about my business. Big digits, I can see the vision. Pull up in that white Bentley, sit up on them 20 inches. White Gus, do my damn thing, you see me shining in. Name ring bells in the city. There's no P did it. Proper preparation help prevents poor performance. Me and my niggas storming through the city. You don't want it. We pop it, 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 we pop it. When we step up in the club, we pop it, 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 we pop it. Hey, shorty dancing to our song. She pop it, she pop it, she pop it, she pop it, she pop it. And VIP with my squad, Big B Silver. You know what time it is. We pop it, we pop it, we pop it. Let's go. Shorty say she horny.
Oh, wait.
Ah.
Hey,
yes.
That's one of our songs, man. It's called Poppin'. You feel me? That song right there.
Yes.
I created
I
that
like
song.
I like that merch too, man. But God is, bro. That's a hell of a statement, boy. I love that merch, man. I gotta come get some of that. Yes, sir.
Definitely can, man. Definitely size, man, whatever color you want. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely feel like you need that merch right there, man.
Man, I would promote it, bro. God is my everything, man. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for God, man, I wouldn't be here today, bro. I might found him at a late age. But I think that was the best choice that I ever made, man, because I was doing so much wrong, and I felt like, okay, if I did all of this here, but God only give his you only when God only give everything to his most powerful warriors, and all the infliction he give it to us. But now, if you don't think now time that if you wasn't somebody, the devil be wasting all that time trying to fuck your life up. If you wasn't of God, you know what I'm saying? So you have to be a godly person for God everything. Because man, once you look up and you can look around and everything, man, they create all this. It got to be a God. When they start acknowledging God and accept Him as the Lord and Savior, man, and then let the past be, look forward on, and let the backwards be, then you will start living in a better place. Because like I say, mentally, because like a resurrection ain't that you die and you just all of a sudden just come back alive. No, a resurrection when you put your old self to death and then be reborn a new person and traveling in a whole different direction. That's my version of resurrection, because that old person that y'all seen in the pictures and everything, that boy died in prison. When I left out that penitentiary, man, it birthed a man with understanding, compassion. And so I wanted to drop that on you too, bro.
And you know what? You know what? The world needs to hear that, man. Cause this is something that went from a dark place to now the light is shining so bright on you to the point, man, it shows. You know what I'm saying? This video I want to show right here is about the footage you took again right here. Here we go.
I put my hero on rock. I put my Moscato on rock. One front, one say up. Shoot at an OB, shoot at a cop. Shoot at the police, shoot at the top. I made $1 million on socks. Free all my niggas who stuck in the box. Locked up and watching the clock. Locked up, they fighting with locks. Locked up, they swinging they knife. I can't be living this life. No more Bacardi, alright. I don't want Cardi, so I'ma pour Henny on ice. My vision is vivid. Told you I'm really a menace. I show you I'm destined to get it. I be outside with the glizzy.
Yes. That
Hey,
was
tell us a
boy.
little bit about that clip right there, man, because that clip was kind of serious, bro. What happened? What happened in that clip?
Okay, the one that you seen that was stabbing the one on the ground, that's one of my love. He used to be a vice lord by the name of Butterow from Jackson, Mississippi. So Butterow, them guys you see down there, they the ones that you would consider peons. They were kicked out of organization and everything, so they don't have the protection of the blanket of the organization, because he'd have been an organization member that was out there like that. You've seen everybody on his own. So the guys that you seen that standing around looking, those are organization members making sure that one of our brothers don't get caught up in that. So that situation right there, the little dude that was being stabbed, he owed Butterow a breakfast tray, in which he didn't pay the breakfast tray, and they knowing that there's no governance over peons, so we can't regulate what they do. So Butterow, when he was affiliated with the Vice Lord, he was a beast and a dog. By him being kicked out the nation for drugs and high tolerance for drugs and all that there, that's a no-no. So he on his own, and that's his work. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't the one. I don't care if you owe me you owe me the bread off your breakfast tray. You don't give it to me. That's a sign of disrespect. And the only way to handle disrespect is it's with disrespect. He disrespected with that knife. And so the boy that was bagging up, you know what I'm saying, after he bagged up, the clip cut off because the officer, they were coming up the highway. He did go out the door and collapse. I don't know if he lost his life, whatever, but he stabbed him in some vital organs, because you seen him, he was on his back on his side. He stabbed him like 3 times, punctured a lung or whatever, but he stabbed him. He got stabbed like 3 times in the side, 2 times in the back, and one across his head. And so I don't know what the outcome, because he was taken to the infirmary, and I ain't see him no more throughout the system. I don't know if they put him on administrative PC, protected custody or whatever to protect their life, you know what I'm saying? But they did get him all the way out the area, possibly left the prison. But yeah, that happened over a breakfast tray, and I think it was the little kids thing of cereals. You know the little kid they give you at the school, the little pill that did some cereals and something like that. Whatever it is, he owed it him, but he had took it and you know you pop it out. So you ain't waking up. I can go and get me some cigarettes or get me a joint or whatever spice joint for this tray. And then I wake up, man, where my stuff at, man, bro? You was asleep, man. I just give you 2 of them tomorrow. I give you 2 back to back. It wasn't working like that. You know what I'm saying? Because cereals it's considered free world in there because it's very rare that you get a bowl of cereal.
Hey, y'all listen to that, man. People losing their lives behind the smallest thing in prison. When in a free world, it's plentiful. But
Plentiful.
in jail and prison, it's rare. You feel me? Now I know
Yes, it is.
this picture right here, man. What's going on? What's going on with dude right here in this picture?
Spice, if you could, well, y'all can see that his chest is like up, protruded out, right? It ain't because he leaning back on the bitch. It's because, you know what I'm saying, at the time he was doing that, his chest had started swelling. So he started swelling and he lost, I think he had a problem with breathing, so they had to come, they tried busting something like a little pack up under the nose, and that didn't wake him up or whatever, and come to find out that he wasn't responsive because he had lost oxygen. And so with that being said, he was like that. They found him and they got to him in a manner, but when he come back he was semi-paralytic because the time it took him, the 15-20 minutes they taken him to get him and try to wake him up, and then realize something really wrong. He had lost so much oxygen to the brain, so when he come back he was like on one side paralyzed, speech slurred, and so he went from looking like that to looking like 90 years old within a couple weeks because all his organs and stuff went to falling when it come from can't breathe. Then your kidneys, you got enlarged kidneys, you got enlarged liver because that was that roast spray and that spice. You know what I'm saying? I'm studying on that because me personally, I seen how drugs, you know, did my family, and I always made a vow that I'd never sell drugs or sell nobody kids no drugs, whatever. So I'm totally against, you know what I'm saying, drugs of that nature, that to the point because I seen, you know, like I say, he got paralyzed, bro, and behind that, but they was able to get him. True enough, but by the time they realized, because you got to look at, you got people from the little rural town, Benoit Road there, population 800. These people ain't trained medically to go tend to nobody and see, like, they don't know how, and then the officer not finna give you CPR. They don't know where your mouth been. They ain't finna come in there and put their mouth on your mouth and blow in. Hell no. They'll wait till the ambulance come, and 9 times out of 10, it's stuck in the damn mud up here at Unit 42. They calling the battery don't work. You got to get a jump start. By the time they get to you, you're dead. So they did get to him, but he was paralyzed on one side, drooling and whole. I don't know which, right or left. I know one of the he had no function at the period, bro. He had to be pushed around in a wheelchair, and he had to be fed. He had to depend on a diaper because he couldn't get to the bathroom, so on and so forth to use it. So they had to put him in a diaper because he couldn't get up like me. You can get up and just run to the bathroom. We had to use it in prison, so they had to do that there because, like I say, man, it messed him up to the point he wasn't even hold his bowels or nothing.
Damn. So listen, we almost up out of here, man. Do you have any messages and inspiration for those who are listening and watching this podcast right now? What would you like to say?
I would like to say to the parents, first and foremost, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we all make mistakes. And then sometimes we might be going through something in life and we like, God, why me? My message to you is, why not? We built for it. He ain't gonna put no more on you than you can bear. And as far as being parenting for the kids, we got to stop being the kids' friends. They are our future. We can't be their friends enabling them to go out there and do nothing because, like I say, I don't know you all, never seen you in my life, but I don't want neither one of you all to get that message or that phone call. We found him or we got him. You know what I'm saying? And then everything that you heard, you mentally going through here with him. And once your child realizes that what we as parents, first and foremost of all, do, it don't reflect on us as parents, as individuals. It reflects on your household as a whole. So your kids looking for you for guidance, so on and so forth. And if you ain't got yourself in order or your house in order, how can you put the kids in order? Meaning that if you wake up in the morning First thing you supposed to do, wake up, go in there at the bathroom, get yourself straight, make your quarters up, come out, look around the house, make sure the kids up straight and everything, make their bed up, then you move down throughout the house. But if you come out there, you get up and you ain't wash face, brush teeth, make your bed, how you gonna get on the kid about being in order when you ain't got yourself in order? So it all starts with self. And the thing I want to leave with every last one of y'all, if we ever going through a problem, the answer to whatever problem you're going through lies within the problem itself. Always think before you react, because always remember, just one slip can cause you a lifetime of agony. And the last thing I want for anybody or their children or any family member to endure what I went through from the age of 13 until now in that prison system, man, because it's no joke. It's nothing to be glorified, and it's real. If you love them and they love you, they need to listen to you as a parent. You need to stop being friends with your kids and be a parent, because don't nobody want to lose a child. And that's my message to the world, young guys. Like I say to the youngsters, it's okay not to run with the gang. It's okay not to be a drug dealer. It's okay not to be a pistol shooter. It ain't okay, because when you behind them bars, it ain't nobody but you. There's no friends. Mama can't come get you. Daddy and them can't. Grandma and them can't come get you. You're going to have to walk that walk yourself. So you want to walk that walk with your family and continue to grow and prosper, man. Listen to your parents, and parent listen to your kids. Sometimes when they act out, they crying out. When they cry out, you need to pay more attention to your child. And then sometimes don't be afraid to ask them, baby, what's wrong? Talk to me. Tell mom what's going on. If I can help it, be a fixer. For here on out, be a fixer. If your child going through something, you go in protective mode, fix it. Be a fixer. That's what the message I got to y'all, man. Be a fixer.
Y'all done heard it, man, from Kelvin Sanders himself, man. 27 years in prison. And here's his testimony. Y'all know y'all tuned in with CEO Money Train, but you knew that Poetic Roots Podcast. Hey, it's been great. It's been a blessing. We're doing part 2 coming real, so I'm gonna call you after this video, man. Much love.
Bet it up. Bless love, big bro. And then another thing, y'all, I'm celebrating my anniversary, man. I had 2 weddings, so yesterday and today is my anniversary. I still taking time out. Me and my beautiful wife sitting right here because she know of the story. She always encouraged me to tell it, and I told it I'm not doing it for no fame and recognition. I'm doing it for I'm not doing it for fame, recognition, or whatever. I'm doing it to bring awareness, y'all, because we the people, we can stop whatever it is, and we take control and stop being friends and being parents and take a responsibility and call accountability for whatever we do. And always remember, what we do not reflect on us as individuals. It reflect on everybody we love as a whole. So when you go to prison or go to jail, also believe that mama, grandmama, brother, and them, they incarcerated with you too until you get out. So think about that.
Think about it, man. Y'all been tuned in. I appreciate everybody, man. Much love to everybody. I'm hitting you in a few minutes, man. Salute. I'm out this house.
Salute, bro. I'm out.
Everybody not loyal.